In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder and wonder that's in our midst. Happy Ramadan and Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man, a podcast of brothers that desires nothing more than to present positive content as to what a striving man in God should be. For we all are family men who love our children. We all are businessmen. We all are youth mentors. And we all work hard in our communities to make it a decent and safe place to live. When putting this podcast together, we decided to govern our actions by 3 rules. 1 was to put God first in all that we do. 2 was to present content to podcasts that can make you a better you. And 3, to showcase brotherhood and unity amongst men that you can be proud of. My name is Brother Muhammadali. I'll be your host and moderator tonight. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm that guy that's very interested in the root of things, the beginning of things, inspirations and motivations. And so I hope you enjoy those lines of questioning. And let me introduce you to the other host of the podcast. Well, we're going to be short one tonight. That's my brother Jackie Muhammad. Like I say, we a businessman, and he couldn't get away tonight. So, Brother Jackie, I hope you listening. I salute you, soldier, for taking care of your family and being the job brother that you are. Now, let's get on to our brother that you do see. And this brother here was born and raised in New York City. He has of recent become a world traveler. He's the current producer of our show. This brother right here brings a great energy to anything he puts his hands on. And if you really want to get something off the ground, you got to get real movers and shakers on your team. And Brother Ahmed is just that. With no further ado, my brother Ahmed.
Thank you. You didn't know I had all of that going on, did you, brother?
No, sir, not at all.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, we thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules. I'm your brother Ahmed, and we have an exciting show for you tonight. The art of drill. We're going to get deep into this foundation, this military foundation. The brother Darrell Muhammad is on. He's going to take us into levels, spiritual levels, physical levels of drill that I don't think we all even take time to focus on. But before we get started with the show, we're going to talk about how you can contact us and how you can view our shows. Our YouTube channel is Jock Brothers. Our Instagram channel is Jock Brothers, and our Facebook channel is Jock Brothers. You can also view us on our website at jockbrothers.com. We have a prison initiative that we've been promoting for the last few weeks. It's definitely part of our charity program during this holy month of Ramadan. And we want to give a shout out to all the viewers and listeners who've been supporting us and sending us names of our brothers and sisters who are incarcerated. We definitely want to give a shout out to the Ramadan prayer line who sent us an enormous group of men and women who need our help. We have been pushing to send the Final Call, the baddest, boldest Black-owned newspaper, the Final Call, behind the prison walls to our brothers and sisters. So if you are if you know anyone who is incarcerated at this time, please send us the information at Jock Viewers. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. You can send any information that you have to this email address so we can support our brothers and sisters. And please support us at jockbrothers.com. And our Cash App is Jock Bros. Jock Bros. Cash App at Jock Bros. Please support that. And that's all I have for you. Back to you, Carly. Let's get started with this show.
That's right. That's right. And don't forget, everybody, please subscribe and share this show, The Art of Drill, and hit that bell. But no further ado, let's get to work. Our guest tonight, my big brother. Our guest tonight was born and raised in Washington, D.C. He was raised by his mother, Daisy Higgins, and is the youngest of 5 children. His first love and passion was cooking, and he became a chef while at the Marriott Corporation under American University College. However, in 1985, our guest became a registered member of the Nation of Islam. This FOI, who's been married for 25 plus years and have 5 children of his own, discovered he had another passion, and that passion was drill. After winning many drill competitions, he decided to put his experience in the form of a book entitled The Art of Drill. With no further ado, and with a Jock Brothers round of applause, to give a big round of applause to our brother, Muhammadali.
Sir.
Hey, salam alaikum.
Salam, sir.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
Kareem, sir.
So saying Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem, you know this show has to be quick because by 8 o'clock, well, today probably 8:11, 8:12, it's time to drink. You know, all of us open up in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and that we bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger for one main reason. We know that whatever we say and whatever we do, it is best that it come from Allah, because we saying anything or doing anything of ourselves is really nothing. You know, so I want to thank Allah just for giving me this permission and giving me the inspiration to do what we did in the book and to be able to even come on the show. Thanking the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, because of course, without him, none of us wouldn't be right now. It probably wouldn't be no Jock Brothers. You probably would have never known each other.
You're right.
Had it not been for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, it would have never been the Art of Drill.
Come on.
Nothing that we do of good for our people, had it not been for the sacrifice of our leader.
That's right.
And of course, you know, I definitely thank y'all for having me on the show. I'm ready for whatever the crowd have to offer.
Right.
You know, I will start out with just a small introduction. You left out a lot, you know, but I'm not as busy as Ahmed is with everything that I'm doing. You know, I try to keep it simple, the things that I do, because we're not getting any younger.
Yes, sir.
You know
yes,
what I'm saying? But we have to make sure what we do is effective.
That's right.
And it has a meaning. So one of the reasons why I wanted to come on the show, because I believe that you brothers are sincere in what you are attempting to do. It's good to reach out to people who need to hear a word. It's good to reach out to people who we're trying to save, because after all, our mission is to do what? To deliver our people to the Lamb of God, you know, the Honorable Elijahmuhammad, through the teachings of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So it's important that we reach out and use these tools that we have through social media to reach our people and do the best that we can do to change their condition as well as ourselves, because these shows help us. When we commentate, when we are guests, this is helpful to us. So I hope that you all continue to do what you're doing, and I hope that Allah bless you all in doing that. So let's move on. How did the show go? Talk to me. Do I supposed to just teach?
Yes, sir.
Or y'all gonna ask me questions or what? I mean, I can teach that. I can probably teach for an hour.
No, we just let you get your open word in. We about to shoot you with questions, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to it. First of all, what was it about drill, Brother Darryl, that excited you so much? I'm reading your bio and I see that it was drill that was like really like your second love behind cooking. What was it about it that excited you so much, brother?
Well, of course, you know, looking at the effectiveness of it. You know, some people, and I describe in the book how most people think that drill is a form of entertainment or that it's a form of show. You know, we establish a drill team just to perform. You know, when in the 80s in DC, we had a year-round drill team, a drill team that was established, and it had nothing to do with a competition that we was looking forward to. We established drill because we knew the discipline that it created in men, as well as the viewers. And so when we went into, of course, this drug-infested neighborhood of Mayfair Mansion, and we was considered to be the dope busters of 1988, we used the technique of formation. We used the technique of placing brothers in ranks so that people would see that we are a nation of organized men who are disciplined. And with drill, we were able to recruit a lot of lost found into the Nation of Islam just from them witnessing the unity amongst men. We were able to calm situations that arose because when they saw the brothers in ranks drilling and following the instructions of the DI, it did something to them as lost found, as viewers. You know, so when I saw that type of effect, and I saw, you know, the type of not only the effect on people that was watching, but the brothers who were actually drillers, it does something to you internally, you know, and that's why I said that drill is the exercise of the gods, because when you drilling in the ranks, you feel a certain type of way, especially when you're in unison with each brother that's standing alongside you, making the same moves and listening to the same instruction coming from a DI, and they all moving in harmony and rhythm. It does something to you spiritually as well as physically.
Okay, all right.
So,
well let me ask this while you're on that right there, because you're dealing with men now who may not have had fathers, who may not have had spiritual inspiration in their lives. Some of them weak. We're taught to make a weak Muslim strong, and building that camaraderie. Did you use drill to masculinize men, to bring forth some kind of strength? I mean, I know you ran across some weakness in men, some I can't do. I mean, did you use drill?
without a shadow of a doubt, of course. I mean, you know how they come into the ranks. They come in all different shapes, sizes, and different, I don't want to say certain words, but, they come as they are. And of course, in that group, you see some weak, some strong, some, soft, hard, feminine, So when falling in ranks, you can't even distinguish who is who, because what drill does, it brings out the warlike propensities in the black man. You know what I'm saying? It allows you to put yourself in another zone that you're not even used to. When you really get caught up into, I don't know if you all ever experienced just being a part of a drill team, but the driller, when he puts himself in that mission, he starts changing in his demeanor, in his actions, and he can't help it, because what it does, it instills in you that strength that you're talking about. It instills in you that cooperative strength more so than as an individual, because you're doing the same thing that your brother is doing beside you, listening to one command. And so, yes, the answer to your question is that we use drill as a technique to strengthen those who were weak, those who were kind of falling off. And before you know it, you will see them walking in an upright position and cutting corners and, having their type of posture that drill created. So that was definitely a technique that was used to develop the strength that's in the black man.
So Darren, look, I was in the United States Marine Corps. I drilled in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
And I've never been on a.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I did too, but I'm happy for me now.
Yes.
I've never been on God's drill, in the drill team. I mean, we did some drill moves in FOI class, but I
Right.
never been on the team.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I know you've seen military drill, with the Devil's Army. What would you think is the difference of them two? Because
I mean, it's ironic that you asked that question. I know. I mean,
okay, yes,
I
sir.
guess you probably should have read the book. You know what I'm saying, before you interviewed
Well,
me. But
maybe the people that's listening haven't read it, so I'm trying to.
right. So I don't want to quote too much that's in the book to keep somebody from getting it and reading it. But that's a subject that's in the book. It compares the United States military with the Nation of Islam's drill team. It compares the two, and it talks about the difference in the two. And I'm just going to point out one major difference that's in the two. See, the U.S. military, they developed their armies to create the same discipline that men should have, but their sole mission is, of course, to defeat an enemy, to kill and destroy a quote unquote enemy.
That's right.
And so these are the things that is instilled in them through their cadence and through their drill formations. See, but the main difference with the Nation of Islam's drill team is that we instill into the men to resurrect the dead. See, we become saviors of our people. And one big difference in motion-wise, physically, as it relates to the United States military, when they make flank movements, they never look before they turn.
You're right.
And so when we came into the nation, we was taught and trained that you have to look first before you make a move. And so this is why we do head movements as opposed to just turning the whole body and head at the same time, that which the military does, the United States military. So it's a lot of different points that, we have that distinguish ourselves from the United States military. And the way we do it, you can't thank Allah enough for instilling in us that way. And you can tell it's of righteousness as opposed to being a killer.
Praise be to Allah. I just want to give a quick shout out to DJ Rockwell. He always tune in and supporting the Jock Brothers. We thank you for that, brother. You got a Muhammad on as well, brother DC. Muhammad, man, he giving you big shout outs. Art New Stall TV, giving big shout outs to you. Nigeria Pool giving big shout outs to you. Okay, just want to let you know you guys a lot of support out here. Now look, so brother Darryl, so this is what I want to get into. I mean, those are just preliminary questions. I really want to know what's in your mind, man, when you are putting your team together. I know when the announcements come out that we about to start training for the drill competition, it might be a ton of men come out there to try to audition for the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I notice your teams are not that big. Your teams are typically, you may get to double digits, you may get a couple of people over double digits, even though you may start off. What are you looking at? What is in your mindset when they come to the table, and how you distinguish who's going to make your team and who's not going to make your team?
Well, I mean, in all truth, nobody should really be deprived from being on the drill team. The drill team encompasses the whole entire FOI. That's what the drill team should be. Now, when you get into having to perform and do a demonstration in front of thousands of people, and I use the word demonstration because I never really agreed to competition. And and I say it in the book, and I say it, on the live show. I believe that we being under one leadership, under one nation, under one God, under one religion, I don't think that we should compete against each other. I think we should always do demonstrations amongst each other, because once you begin to compete, you have a certain malice in your heart for your competitor. You feel a certain type of way for, to the person who you competing against. And so I don't like that type of feeling. However, when you're doing a demonstration, you should be elite in your performance. And so just like an NBA team or NFL team, you might get cut from that elite squad or that elite crew, or you might have to ride the bench for a year or two before you get to start. And so if you're not in that higher grade of performance, whereas though you want to demonstrate the highest level of drill when you do that, because who are you really representing when you get on that stage and drill? You're representing our leader and teacher, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. That's who you represent. And so we don't want mistakes in that category, because he don't make mistakes. If he do, he correct them instantly. However, when we doing our demonstration, we want to make sure that these are some elite brothers who are ready to perform in front of thousands of people. So just kind of originally answering your question, what is it that I have in my mind? I look for that elite soldier, and we have to do our best to train them to become that, because a lot of these brothers that come on the drill team, we see they come with 2 left feet. And then before you know it, after training and constantly conditioning them, they end up showing the rhythm and the strength that needs to be shown and the precision that needs to be demonstrated in order to drill in front of a lot of people to represent our leader.
You also speak on the men that are drilling to be moral. How do you encourage men to be moral in a sinful world?
I was waiting for part 2 of the question. So I can only repeat what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has been teaching us for years. The form of drill itself. Let me tell y'all a story. One of the beauty of establishing a drill team is that we occupy the time and minds of young men. When in the absence of those type of disciplinary movements, what are they doing? Idle mind is what?
The devil's workshop.
So a lot of times, especially back in the 80s and 90s, we stayed busy doing the work. And we know that if you can refrain from doing something for at least 21 days or more, you create a positive habit. If it's of good, you stand away from these things that you were doing in this wicked world, of course. And so before you know it, you've abstained from doing what you normally do.
That's right.
Just to be a part of this brotherhood and this drill team. And that's why it is said that brothers strengthen brothers. Just from our presence and being amongst another brother, you ain't gonna sin. You trying to do your best to hurry up and get away from him or away from the brotherhood so you can do your dirt. But that brotherhood establishes that moral conduct. So, being in the ranks of the drill team not only keeps us away from this world, but it also establishes the discipline that we need to maintain. And when I say we, I mean the drill instructor, to everybody, we, and I'm not pointing the finger. It's all of us, need that discipline.
So let's go back to when you back in '88, man. What was it about you? I mean, I'm sure you had to be taught, right? What was it about you that wanted you, or that the men trusted about you, that they didn't mind you leading them, or what was your initial training to get you to the point you're at right now?
Well, I think it's the commitment level that any brother would show, that you perform, whereas though you gain the trust of the brotherhood when they see how committed you are. And, and I just want to add this real quick before I forget it. Any type of talent that any one of us may possess, whether it be a drill instructor or any type of leader in any leadership capacity, you have to know and understand that it's not you anymore. It's not Brother Darrell. It's not Brother Ahmed. It's not Brother Kawi. We have made ourselves the vessels to be used by Allah. And so when he used us, because we made ourselves available to be used, then he works through us, and it attracts the men where they develop a trust in you, and that type of trust where they'll hear you out because they see that that's Allah working through you.
Yeah, that beautiful answer. I ain't expect that one. I
interject something real quick. I'm getting text message, Ahmed, stating that on the flyer it doesn't have a link for people to log in. So I'm getting a lot of text messages from people that saying they're not able to log in. I don't know what they need to.
They could just go to youtube.com, Jock Brothers. YouTube.com.
Okay. They can go to Facebook, Jock Brothers.
There's nothing on the flyer that they could use to log on?
No, they have to just go to YouTube and type in Jock Brothers. YouTube and Jock Brothers.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll be the simplest way.
In your book, Brother Darrell, you made mention of the Persian army.
That's right.
It was something about that. I read it, but what was it about that story, man, that made you want to use that as a point of reference to make that point in the book? And I ain't trying to give away your book, but I'm trying to give away your book.
Right. But I mean, if you notice, it's not just the Persian army. I mentioned Genghis Khan. I mentioned Adolf Hitler. I mentioned Napoleon. I mentioned any great man that used formation to establish his military when they wanted to either go in battle or to create a discipline in their soldiers. See, these leaders needed for these men to be able to hear and obey, period. And if you really look again at chapter 1 in the beginning of the book, it talks about the United States military, who was really the British military, who was really in disarray at one point until they discovered that drilling in formation creates a soldier to be able to hear and obey faster and to be more willing to submit to the instructions that's given, just simply because they established a formation of drill, a formation of marching, a formation of stepping to one commander, to one DI. Those men never knew the effect that it had on them until they did it.
Wow. So now let's get back to 88. Let's get back to your early years.
Yes, sir.
You put your team together for your no, that's not when you hold on. I missed your first drill competition. It was not in 88. I missed that. It
was mid 90s, probably 90.
Mid 90s, right.
93, 94. Even though we drilled, I take that back. We actually drilled under the tent in a little brief competition when the mosque was being dedicated, which was 89. So right before we went into the mosque Mariam, when it was purchased, it was 89. And so we performed under the tent then, but of course it was only two drill teams that was really competing against each other, which was ourselves in Chicago. And it was interesting because this is the year where we first came out with the white uniforms. I don't know if you all have seen the white uniforms. You remember the white uniforms, right?
I got one.
So that year was the first year. We was told we can't wear these uniforms until that Sunday. And so now we perform in the drill, and then here comes Chicago drill team. They hit the stage, and all of them had on a white uniform. Now, mind you, this was a Saturday. and the crowd just went off. You know, and I think it was just because of what they had on that they gave them the victory. So it was pretty much 89 when we first competed on the national level under my tutorage.
Now look, I ain't trying to start nothing, brother Darrell. I just want to know. I'm a little younger in the ranks than you, brother Ahmed, and some of the brothers that be watching. Now, I keep hearing about the heyday of the 80s, the heyday of the 90s, and the camaraderie amongst the men. All right. In comparison to, say, the early 2000s. Would you attribute that camaraderie that you had, the strength of your brotherhood that I hear about so often, to just drill, or was that the main component of that type of camaraderie?
Well, I would say this. I mean, drill certainly had an effect during that time because, like I said early on, that it wasn't just, the drill team that was developed for the competition at Savior's Day. We had a drill team year round. And we was in the streets drilling. We was on the corners drilling.
Right.
Every Saturday we would drill. You know what I'm saying? We would hit the street and have 50 to 100 men drilling in the streets. And so when you do things like that, you can't help but creating an atmosphere that made it, a little bit more military than what you might see now. And then, like you said, you ain't trying to start nothing, but I'm just saying, we was more, in my opinion, my humble opinion, we was more military in the 80s, 90s, when we had the presence of that military drill. And of course, you can't just solely give the credit to the drill. You give the credit to our leader, teacher, and guide, who spearheaded the nation, and and all of the laborers and the captains during that time, and the ministers during that time. We was more intricately involved in the day-to-day operations, not only of the military but in the communities. So, yeah, it's definitely a difference.
Okay, so now. Early 2000, you were selected to be one of the panelists for our drill competitions. So that took you away from being a DI. That retired you from that.
I hear you. You would need me to respond now, or
no, I want to know. So what was it? I mean, what do you bring to that panel? That panel absolutely, what was the reason why they selected you of all the DIs in the country? Why were you in particular selected to be on that panel, and you've been on the panel so long? In your opinion?
I was actually a judge in the 90s.
Oh.
In the late 90s. And so recently, maybe in 2000, I'm not sure exactly what year, but of course, our wonderful sister captain that's here, Sister Islaminamerica, she knew me from DC. And so she brought me on to be kind of like the judges, what you want to call it. I forget the title she used, but it was like a dean of judges. And so behind closed doors, what we would do with the judges, now this was probably starting in 2016, 17 on up, 15, one of those years, we would always have meetings and discussions on how we should judge. And we would go over all of the categories in judging. Okay, and so I was like one of the dean of judges, where I had to kind of break down how to judge. Okay. And this went on all the way up until, that you remember in the 2000s. And so my history of being a judge started in the 90s, when I kind of passed the torch to one of the brothers that took over the DI's position in DC, which was 98, I believe. And by Allah's grace, he won the championship with DI the year he took over, you know, which was good. You know, that made me feel good because it was, you know, passing on of the torch to a brother that was able to effectively teach and train the soldiers, you know, like he should have done.
Okay, yes, sir. Now, look, a few years back, I was over hearing a conversation with some pioneering sisters, right? And they said that they didn't like the drill competition anymore because it became more like a step show. It stopped becoming real drill competition, you know, and you know, I know in when you judging, right? I don't know if the crowd reaction is a part of the judging process, but what would you say to that? I mean, what's your take on that statement that it's now like a little step show instead of being just a true to heart drill competition as you know it?
Yes, sir. I mean, you know, you're not going to get me to talk about the judges, right? You know, as Allah is my witness, I've done my best to try to get us to stay focused on who we are as FOI MGT as it relates to drill. Because like you said, the way it has turned into, you know, some DIs might say, well, this is the new generation. This is the new school. You know, we're not doing the old school drill no more. So that's what they may say. And then they may incorporate certain moves and motions that wasn't present back in the 80s, 90s, you know, early 2000s, which is good and correct. You know, I tip my hat off to Brother Josh. You know, he always had a good passion for drill, and it's the DI and was the DI in Atlanta here for many years.
Right.
You know, and I admire Soldier for his passion for drill. And he created a bond with them brothers that was outside of drill, and which is the real purpose of drill.
Okay.
However, I have been trying my best to bring in a medium between old school and quote unquote new school, because what we don't want to do is to think that we are a fraternity or step show performance, because we begin to do things that become unmilitary in the name of creation, in the name of this is something new. So we have to remember there are only 5 categories in judging. One is appearance. The other is, and of course, appearance is the way you look. And if you are looking the same and, you know, shirts crisp and, you know, how you're clean shave, your hat, your shoes, if your shoes are shine, and precision. Precision just simply means if you don't mess up. That's just being precise. You know, and the degree of difficulty, which means you can't just do a left face, right face, and about face and think that you can win, because now you got to create a different level of difficulty, whereas though the people can see, wow, they was able to put that off because that was somewhat difficult. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so then the other 2 is what? Ahmed, you supposed to know. You got appearance, precision, the degree of difficulty, and of course the DI was one of them. They judged the DI. And the other one was what? Come on, man, use the DI. I'm gonna think about it in a minute before
Ahmed with the DI?
You might have somebody on the show that knows but I promise you before we leave, I'm gonna tell you the other 2.
I don't remember right now.
It's gonna come to me.
So the entertainment factor, right? That's a part of it too, right?
No, come on, man. It had nothing to do with entertainment. It had nothing to do with if you at the Apollo Theater,
Mm,
like somebody gonna put their hand over your head to see how much the crowd cheer.
right.
It's not about that. You know, your military posture is another one. And that's just how much you show, you know, your posture, your strength.
Mm.
So you had the military posture, you had the precision, you had the degree of difficulty, you have the appearance, and you have the
Cadence?
DI.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was under the DI.
Okay.
Now, since he threw entertainment out there, I just wanted to. I know we was going back in the 80s. I just wanted to see how, because I wasn't really around to really experience how what Public Enemy and then was when they started publicizing drill,
Mhm.
and now they took drill away from the military training. You know, everybody just was looking at the drill portion of it. But how did that affect you and the people around you that were on these platforms?
I mean, to be honest with you, I was excited. I was happy to see that Public Enemy was doing that. Because see, indirectly, what are you doing? You introducing to all of your viewers and all of your fans that we are taking a piece of the training of the military of the FOI. And we are showing you because these brothers were soldiers, some of them was registered.
Right.
And so it was all right with me. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to look at the real mission behind drill and behind whatever we do. If you want to say you stole it, if you want to say now you done turned into some music or, you know, underneath all of that, you introducing people to the root of where it came from.
Right.
You introducing to people that this originated from the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Elijahmuhammad. So it's causing people to look in the direction in which that came from, regardless.
Hello, brother Dario. Reception. Can you say that part again? Is he froze? Okay, brother Dario, he froze. Oh, that's me.
Yeah, he's frozen. He's frozen.
Okay.
Well, let's let me just post his book until we get him back on.
All right.
So all those who are viewing, this is the book that we proudly want to show that Brother Darrell is promoting the art of drill. We're basing all this information and knowledge that we're questioning him about from the inspiration that we receive from reading this great book that will last the test of time. There's no date stamped on this book. The knowledge and wisdom that's in this book surpasses time. So all those viewers who are watching, purchase it. We're gonna post how you can purchase it right now. Let me remove that. All those who are watching, you can place your order of the book, The Art of Drill.
One thing I can say is Brother Derek clearly knows what he's talking about. He clearly understands and knows the art of drill. You know, it was an interesting read. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, not only the art of drill. No, I was just going to chime in on what you were saying. That not only the art of drill, but the hearts and the mind of men.
Right.
You know, and definitely the art of drill, the science of drill, the history of drill. I mean, the man takes us back to Genghis Khan, military foundation of. I mean, there's so much impactful in this book. So all those who are viewing, let's get this book to all four corners of the world. Let's get this book to generations, our children, our sons, our grandsons. If you see your children, your sons, even your daughters, they don't have nothing to do, get this book and slide it to them. There's so much of inspiration in this book to give to the young people, to those in teenagers, even those who feel that they may have lost a little of that fire. Man, this book just inspires me. Every page that I turn.
Praise be to Allah.
Let me give a little testimony as well. One thing about Brother Darrell, I've seen him in action with some juniors, preparing them for drill competition, and he was tough. He was tough on them. But one thing about it, man, my son, who was on his team, he respects and admires Brother Darrell today. He said that's my drill instructor. I don't even think he called him Brother Darrell. He called him that's my drill instructor. And when I see him with the other juniors that was in that competition with him, when I see them interact, like your son, brother Dewan's son. I mean, they have a different bond from what they went through. He take them through something. And at the end of the day, when they get through it, they know, when they look at each other, they know, what, we went through something that only we could talk about, only we had a chance to experience. And their respect for each other, admiration for each other is different than with other juniors I've seen with, just because of what Darrell put them through. And they had a great competition. So
yes, sir.
Clearly this man knows what he's talking about when it comes to drill. So
praise be to Allah.
So I'm gonna go for us this, Brother Darrell. I know we just talking about drill, but I mean at the end of the day, you're talking about just bringing a certain level of order to an organization. This ain't just for the military. You could take this philosophy in corporations. Would you want to comment on that?
I mean, no doubt. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's all about us maintaining our discipline to put into practice that which we have been taught. And so when you read the book, and I'm gonna reveal, the last chapter, because that's the most important chapter to me. It allows you to see who the real DI is. Because when you are blessed to have a man in your midst that have affected all of us in his wisdom, in his knowledge, his understanding and teaching.
Right.
And he has given his life to the resurrection of our people and to us. If we just took a moment to just listen to what he's telling us to do and follow those instructions, looking at him as our DI, that is really what a driller is. To be able to follow the instructions from a guide, from a person that is telling you the way to go, and you go that way. If I say left face, right face, bow face, and you do these things, it should be easier for you now to hear, don't eat that, don't smoke that, don't drink that, don't treat your woman this way, be this way. See, these are instructions we're getting as soldiers. And we have to be able to follow these instructions and watch the success that will come to us if we just took a moment and not look at the Honorable Louis Farrakhan as an entertainer,
right,
as a showman, the same way we look at drill. But to take his instructions the same way we take a DI's instructions. Because when you're in the ranks of the drill team, you don't want to make a mistake.
That's right.
You don't want to fall out of line. If the DI say left, you turn your head left, and he say face, you move your body. So why not do the same thing with our real DI, with our real drill instructor, and follow his instructions? Then all of the issues that we might be having in our life, just following the instructions of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, man, we will be victory. We will be winners. We will be champions. We won't be in second place, junior FY. We'll be in first place. Praise be to Allah. Those juniors got second place. And that's nothing lightweight to take, when you're on a national scale like that.
Right.
So praise be to Allah. Again, man, I can't say enough that nothing that I say or nothing that I have done and the effect that I've had on the juniors as well as older soldiers had nothing to do with Brother Darrell himself. It had everything to do with Allah working through us. And so that's why we say all praises is due to Allah, because without the Allah working through us, we would be nothing. And we have to always, give out praise to Allah for even using us to be vessels, to be able to train men and change their lives.
Do you want us to show the pictures that we loaded up?
No, man, y'all didn't load those pictures up correctly. They don't look good. So
Okay.
I don't want one person to see that. We're going to keep it clean.
Yes. Damn,
But hopefully when we do the Dope Busters show, y'all have some good crisp pictures, because, the Dope Busters is a history within itself. And I'm thankful to Allah to be a part of that show. I know you all are working on that show coming up.
yes,
And that's going to be a monster. So everybody should invite people to see that show. So, yes, sir. What we got, man? We got about 8-10 minutes left. What we going to do?
Which you got a question, Ahmed?
No,
I saw you jump up there.
No, I'm good. Let's wind this up, brothers.
So we do have a video of your last team that you put together. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's show that video of these mighty soldiers who performed in Chicago, man. I'm thankful to Allah that my son was on that team as well, Elijahmuhammad, along with those other great soldiers, your son, Kawi, Ahmed's son. No, Ahmed didn't have a son on there. We don't know that, though. He might have. We just don't know, right? But yeah, show that, Kawi. I like to see those young soldiers drilling like that.
All right, here you go. Let's get to it then.
Kawi got skills.
Look, face, mock time, march. Face to 1 your T4. Drill. Nation of Islam, we salute you. Ready, fight! Mock time, march! Face to face in 3-step! Chill!
Look at that military posture. Look at that precision.
If you want to be a god, join the FOI. Allah, Elijah, Farrakhan, we are gods.
We are God. You hear that? If you want to become a god, join the FOI. You hear that?
Nation of Islam, women are one of our great pioneers, Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Truly your salute, headed the rock of the South. We honor you. The rock of the South. We love you, the rock of the South. The great one, the rock of the South. We salute you, Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad.
On my command, move out! Together, we make thunder, drill! Mark turn!
15 seconds.
Move! Circle up on my command! Who's the God I missed today? We all be
Time.
ready, fight! Mark time, march! Full out!
That's right, brothers and sisters. Put your hands together for the Junior FOI of Mile Number 15, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
But Darryl, I know you failed to mention that that team was inspired by the great brother Ahmed. I don't know, you know, I know this is your show, but I didn't get anything, you know.
But no, I do want to say this, and this is why I told Kawhi before the show started. I wanted to mention Brother Muhammad, one of the Jock brothers, you know, because I witnessed himself and Brother Kawhi take an invested interest in making sure these soldiers got trained, even though it stimulated from Brother Ahmed, who was doing it years ago, working with the juniors. You know, they never placed, but he worked with them to a degree, and it was effective. No, but if you understand, last thing I want to say, if you understand,
that's not true.
Yes, sir. But no, Ahmed did a good job with them young brothers, man. And if it wasn't for Ahmed, that crew that we had that performed that day, they wouldn't even have been there.
Right.
So my hat off to you, soldier.
All right,
if you listen to some of the words that they were saying when they were drilling, is important. Because see, when you in formation and you drilling, and at the same time you chanting cadence, it's becoming a part of you. It's being instilled in you that taps into your subconscious mind. And so when they chant, we are gods. You know, if you want to become a god, join the FOI. You know, then you chant Allah, Elijah, Farrakhan. See, all this is becoming a part of their whole makeup, because it's being instilled in their subconscious mind. Because you stopping down and you marching at the same time, these cadence are being chanted. Yes, sir.
Okay, we about to get into the final words there, Brother Darryl, man.
Yes, sir.
Doing your final words, though, I really would like for you to explain why getting your book, in addition to what we already said about your book, why is getting that book. Get them like a little preview of what they're going to get when they get into the book, and give your final words simultaneously.
I think most of my talk was about the book, you know, but it's a chapter in the book that I favor, and that is the mental attitude of the driller. And I encourage everybody to read that, because even if you don't see yourself as a member of a drill team, or you may feel like you never was able to drill, because some people just don't really fit in that category. So my book is not just for the driller. It's for a person who is in life's struggles, because this chapter on mental attitude deals with the way we should think, not only as a driller, but as just a person that needs to survive, especially during this day and time. Our attitude and how we think plays a critical part in our success and our development. See, because for years, and we know, we have been taught that we're nothing as a people, especially all that we've been through. Our forefathers have gone through. We've been dwindled down, coming from a god all the way down to a nigger. And so if we think like that, that's how we'll remain. If we accept the fact that we are gods and that we ruled this world, we ruled the earth, we were rulers and kings thousands and thousands of years ago, what will make us, or what is going to take for us to get back to our original selves? And so we have to start feeding ourselves with positive thinking. We have to start feeding ourselves with the correct understanding of who we are. And so when you get into this chapter, I break down the whole reason why the Honorable Louis Farrakhan even introduced to us Dianetics in the study of Scientology. See, because we all have engrams coming from our forefathers that we have to get rid of in order for us to, I don't even want to say what I was about to say, because, but in order for us to take over and become who we supposed to be, especially for our young people. They can't continue to witness us the way we are because they need us as an example. We want to get them away from these video games and, you know, the reefer smoking, and we got to show them another way.
That's right.
And it's how we think. So that's one of the best parts of the book that I like. And I encourage everybody to, you know, to get the book if you can, you know, go to that website and make your request, and we'll make sure that you get it. We'll send it to you. And you'll get it probably next day or two based on how your mail is delivered. And I hope you enjoyed the book, and I hope you enjoyed everything that I had to say. It was a lot more that I could say, but of course, we have about 8 more minutes before we can drink and eat. And I'm looking forward to getting rid of a dry mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Praise
sir.
be to Allah. Well said. Brother Ahmed, final words.
Drill is the foundation of disciplinary training. It compels the habit of obedience and stimulates the desire for cooperative strength as the unit moves together as one.
That's right.
Bradau has broken down this verse in so many ways. The habit of obedience, the desire for cooperative strength. We thank you, Brother Dow, for coming on our show and just giving a piece of yourself that you've been blessed to offer from what Allah has given you to our listening audience, to us. And we pray that you are able to continue your journey in getting this information out to all of our people. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Now, this is book 1. Book 2 will be coming out soon as well.
Right. Will I be in that one?
Yes, sir. We'll put you in there just because you interviewed me. Yes, sir.
Praise.
Ahmed, it sounds like you read the book, though. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my final words. First of all, we got Brother Elijahmuhammad. He watching on. You know, the Nun was my first officer when I got into the ranks, and you know, I know when I first got into the ranks, I think he one of the first people that taught me the drill movements. You know, the right face, left face, and because I came out the military, I wasn't doing a snap your head. I wasn't doing that, and it was very hard for me to get that head snap right. I think it took me. It was so installed in me. Let me say one thing I can say. I remember him because of all the work he put in with me. And that is basically what you talked about tonight with the art of drill. Is the camaraderie that's built up from drill. Look, I wasn't around during those days. You know, I just wasn't around. But when I hear you talk about it, when I hear other brothers talk about the 80s, the 90s, and with such reverence, man, I know that had to be a really special time in the lives of the soldiers I'm talking to. You're a product of that. And when I see you and how you move in today's time, I really think you just stuck in that era in the way you conduct yourself. You conduct yourself every day like a soldier, like a brother that's very proud of you know where he come from, and all you try to do every day is install that in the men that you're around. So I salute you, Brother Darrell, for all that you do. I salute you for what you did to my son, for my son, and what you continuously doing for the juniors. Now, I want everybody to know that Brother Darrell is the first of 3 interviews we're about to do. We're doing him. We're doing Captain Tim next week, and we're doing our student regional minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad the week after that. All of these brothers that we are interviewing over the next couple of weeks are leading up to the climax show, which is the Dope Busters. Our brother Darrell was an integral part of that movement, and he will be back in 3 weeks, so we can get more in depth of that great time that really, in my opinion, brought the popularity of of the soldiers of the Nation of Islam to the heights that it reached. That was the beginning stages of it.
That's
and he
right.
was a big part of that. So
and so I salute, and tip my hat out to Brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad as well as Captain Tim Muhammad, both who was instrumental in my upbringing and training, as well as a lot of other brothers who I can give thanks to. I didn't mention my oldest brother, Islaminamerica, for being in the Nation of Islam prior to 1975. And I was always around him in hearing the Honorable Elijahmuhammad's words, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's words. So he was real instrumental in my upbringing and introduction to the nation. You failed to mention at the very beginning of my bio something you left out that I hope I don't get in trouble for. You said I got 5 children, but me and my wife have 5 children, Zalia Muhammad. If you notice, I mentioned her name in the bio as well, but you didn't. So, but I'm gonna mention it now. So, So, praise be to Allah for everyone who's instrumental in my life and helped me to be the type of brother that I am. We got some powerful leaders in the nation right now. I tilt my hat off to Captain Aaron Muhammad, who is the regional captain in DC right now. If you look on the front cover of my book, he's on there. Along with Brother Edward Muhammad, Brother Raymond Muhammad. These brothers were soldiers back then, and we fought together, man. We was doing some serious training together. I don't want to get into mentioning names because when I leave somebody out, that's not good, But it's a lot of soldiers, man, that, when you're in the midst of training men, they don't even know that they're training you. And so we train each other.
That's right.
Which is a blessing. So praise be to Allah.
Well, in the words, I think that got us for the night. I think it was a great show. You got another brother, Sir Ern F. Muhammad. Maybe you can see it, brother Darrell. Can you see that? He said you the DI for life, Miles number 4.
Brother Ian, that's mighty brother Ian.
Oh, brother Ian, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right.
And you got a Tamir Muhammad. So look, man, with no further ado, that's the end of the Job Brothers show. I thank y'all for tuning in. And like Brother Jacket like to always say, another one.